Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone in the audience has recovered from the delicious lunch today. My name is Sunny Kapoor. I'm working as a director in urban technology practice for Ernst & Young. Firstly, I would like to thank the organizers, ObserveNow, for organizing this fantastic event and extending this opportunity to moderate the panel session on powering progress, the role of public-private partnership in digital government. I would like to welcome all our distinguished panelists to spare their time and to share their expertise with respect to the role of PPP in technology domain. So you have been a part of this digital journey from a PPP perspective, and we would like to understand your perspective around how these initiatives with respect to PPP can be made impactful in digital government. What are the key leading practices which has been adopted? What are the forward-looking initiatives that you think that should be adopted by the government, department, government of India, government of UP, or state governments, so that we can have a more impactful success stories around that? I would start with Sourajit sir with respect to the perspective.
Thank you, Sunny, and thanks, ObserveNow. I'm from the Director IT on board of UPPCL, and the PPP model, without a PPP model, you understand, in a technology, say excellence, we don't have that kind of, the state government IT do not have that kind of what should I say, qualified people. We do have qualified people, but not with that experience. So I'll start with the metering, where we have seen that two of our major players, Infinite and Fluent Grid, we have been running 3 systems on that. Now the total UP state, we have migrated to a single system on Oracle, and it's a very complex system catering to around, say, 3.27 crores. So it's almost 32 million consumers that we are handling on daily basis as well as monthly basis. And this same model of a postpaid is now going to be converted in the state of UP. We have done something with ESL around 15 lakhs smart meters, which we are going to, changed to a complete switch over to a smart meter model prepaid across the state. And there you see a host of private players with technological expertise. And when we say smart meter, it is end-to-end technology. When I say end-to-end technology, it is not only a smart meter, how does it migrate or talk to the HES, that is the head-end system. Now the head-end system has to talk to basically the MDM, and MDM has to talk to my RMS. And in all this, definitely the communication plays a very vital part. And in this communication, it is not only the GSM technology or the cellular technology that comes into part, but definitely the RF technologies come very much into this. So, catering across the state of UP, which is by terms of the size, it is also said to be the 6th largest country in the world. To catering to such a large geographical area over both a cellular and a RF technology across the state and maintaining the resilience of communication. You understand, when we go for a prepaid meter, definitely you understand that when the consumer has paid the bill, if it was suppose you have to pay 500, it is dipping. So we will give you advance notice. 3 days advance, we will be sending you SMS and you are not paying. But you have paid at a moment when your balances have dipped. Now, our duty is to immediately bring you back. For that, you need the resilience and sustainability of the whole network. Now, when I talk on this technology, is definitely the cloud. We are going fully on cloud. Definitely, when I'm going on cloud, definitely there is a fallback of the cloud architectures. So, when I talk on cloud, all the paraphernalia of cloud, whether it's a VA, whether it's a storage, whether it's a network, whether it's the communication that takes place. Now, the payment. Now, we have to integrate the payment gateways. Now, when you talk on payment gateways, you cannot, sustain on only one payment gateway. It is multiple of payment gateways you need to do. Now all this paraphernalia, if you see, if you go deep dive into all this, the integration that we are trying to achieve on multiple kind of individual SSC or individual consumer or the commercial consumer or the industrial consumer or the might be PTW and all that. So you have multifaceted kind of inputs that you require. So all this paraphernalia without a public-private entity, it is just very difficult. We can definitely handhold, but in this, it's a lot to talk, but since there are a lot of panelists, so I will rest my case here. And definitely it has been a success story all this time, but I'll talk on other technologies as as the talk progresses. Thank you till now, Sunny. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your insightful views. Moving next to our next speaker, sir, Yogesh sir, we would like to understand your perspective with respect to what are the key initiatives in PPP in digital space. What are the key leading practices that the state is imparting to the other states as well as we are inheriting it from other states? What are the global practices that we are leveraging it? And what is your perspective with respect to the look forwarding so that it can be a success story?
Thanks. As all of us knows that in government sector, we are the expert of all the things, but on the other side, you can think that we are not expert of anything, because when we talk about the public partner, private or government partnership, then we see that the private person having the expertise in the domain, like one person is expert in the communication field, one is networking field, one is the cloud field, and in the second end of the part, that is the government side, we find that we have to take care all the technologies and do the work of the government sector and for public welfare schemes. So as per our power sector, we have the multiple type of partnerships. Mainly when we see that the major chunk of our part is the collection. For collection at our friend Mr. Ghosh had told that we have connected the multiple type of collection points. For this, we have taken the multiple collection agencies. You can say that multiple collection agency, one is the CSC, the major CSC is receiving our amount roughly about the 400 crores to 450 crores for UP, and for Madhyanchal it is collecting approximately 150 crores. Similarly, there are multiple of agencies, Saral and Rana Pay and other type 5-6 agencies they are collecting. And next is the VIDYUT Sakhi. They are also collecting the amount from the field. Similarly, the ration shops having the collection facility of the electricity. So this is the one way of the partnership with the government sector, public-private partnership. Similarly, when we talk about technology, in technology terms, there are multiple type of the major advancement that we are running the pilot project and roughly completed the pilot project. The major pilot project for this is the one pilot project is for the tariff. Tariff means ki when there is the excess of the solar energy, then how to cater the solar energy in the system, for which we have the pilot with the private partner, how to take care of this energy. For this we have designed a tariff for hourly basis, means we will communicate the consumer that this time you will get the tariff for the 2 rupees, 3 rupees, 5 rupees. So different time slot tariff, we have studies for this with the private partner. Similarly, when there are the multiple solar panels, then we have to, every person will like to sell the energy to the other person, maybe to neighbor also. A consumer having the 2 kilowatt load, and he is interested to sell 2 kilowatt energy to the open access, then how to take care? For this also we have the studies in blockchain technologies through, and this study is also completed. So these innovative ideas in government sector, when we have the innovative idea, then innovative idea how to complete the innovative idea in realistic terms. For this realistic term, we need the power public-private PPP models. So it is the must to achieve advancement of the government sector as well as the beneficial of the public also. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your insights. These are quite enlightening insights for all of us. My next question would be to Yajuvendra, sir. So, since you are responsible for managing both IT and PPP as part of UPSRTC, we would like to understand your perspective with respect to the various initiatives that UPSRTC is taking in this particular space, sir.
Thank you. As you rightly said, I look after IT as well as PPP in my organization. So, I'll tell you, PPP is a perfect combination of enhanced private efficiency and robust government resources stability. We started giving projects on PPP model way back, like in 2017 we gave our first project on PPP model. That was of course not a digital IT project, that was a civil infra project. That was development of Alambagh bus terminal on PPP model. So that project was beautifully developed. Later on we did PPP projects in IT also, our ticketing system in UPSRTC, our ticketing system which we gave in 2021 to Orient Pro was on PPP model only. They were required to develop all the infra and they'll get on per transaction basis after they have provided everything as per scope. So I'll tell you, as my experience with this PPP journey, we have already awarded, to the audience I'll say, we have already awarded projects worth 1200 crore on PPP model as of now, and on this Monday we are again giving 1300 crore orders. So like this, more than 2500 crore PPP projects are in pipeline, and we are coming up with 50 more projects worth more than 5,000 crore on PPP model. So my experiences on this PPP model working is, every project cannot be developed into a PPP model. So for any project you need to find viability, whether it is viable for private player to come and invest that much money. So once the viability or feasibility of the project is done correctly, then only you should go for PPP model. It is a wonderful model in today's time. In India, we are lacking due to many policies not supporting PPP model, but we should leverage the efficiency of private sector. We should execute more and more projects on PPP model. That is my experience. So thank you. That was it.
Thank you, sir. Your perspective is incredibly illuminating. I look forward to our next question to Sourav, sir. Sourav, sir, based on your diversified experience working in financial institutions like Axis Bank, Bank of Baroda, Bandhan Bank, and tech giants like TCS, now you're working as part of public sector. We would like to understand the various initiatives that Webel is taking in the PPP, in the digital domain from a PPP perspective, as well as what are the upcoming products or solutions which are envisioned as part of Webel, which would serve for the country, for our country.
Yeah, thanks, Sunny. And good evening, everyone. And at the very outset, let me thank ObserveNow and all government of Uttar Pradesh and all other delegates for inviting me from Kolkata all the way across. And this is indeed a privilege because I believe most of the people are from UP and some are from, I think, Kerala, one from Bangalore. So I have come all the way from, as a participant from Kolkata. So anyway, let me first tell you about Webel. Webel, basically, you must be thinking, what is Webel? Webel is basically, you know, a brand name for West Bengal Electronics Industry Development Corporation Limited. And it is a public sector undertaking. It is a nodal agency for IT and ITES sector under the Department of IT and Electronics, Government of West Bengal. So in Webel, we generally into diversified line of business. We are into IT and ITS segment. We are into smart metering projects. We are into education. We are into cyber security, training aspects, and various other fields. We are into manufacturing. So entire gamut of things related to IT sector and all. Webel is definitely as a major player, and we are expanding in our fleet pan-India basis. We are working for various multinational companies and all, including Indian Oil Corporation Limited, Mahanadi Coalfields, and so on and so forth. So now, this was the introduction which I wanted to give about Webel as such, so that the people are able to know what exactly Webel does. And coming now to Sunny, your question about the public-private partnership model. Yes, Webel has been, you know, as Sourajit sir has also mentioned, they are into smart metering projects. Webel is also into smart metering projects. So we are working for the smart meter installation for various, in collaboration with West Bengal State Electricity Distribution Company Limited. And we have been given a task for executing smart meter for the interstate of Bengal. So apart from this, we have also envisaged a particular PPP model for, you know, in Kolkata there is a river Ganga, and you know, we have to cross that particular river Ganga through a ferry. Ferry basically is known as a particular launch from where we have to cross the river. So that particular ticketing system and all, including giving a handhold device, getting the technology envisaged from a particular private company, we have built that particular software solution, providing you know, government related particular knowledge about what exactly needs to be done. That we have totally managed through that particular you know, ticketing system, which was an enormous success. We had given a handheld device, boom barrier also was there, how to cross and how to envisage and making the particular person or citizen of Kolkata cross a particular Ganges river. Now metro has been, is there is an underground metro going on, but at that time there were nothing sort of that. So it was a huge boom for the sector, and Webel has really contributed for the citizen of Kolkata especially. Apart from that, we, you know, as a Webel, we are also having around IT parks developed. Of course, the fund is given by the Department of IT and Electronics, but Webel is the particular you know, company or the nodal agency who has developed around 23 IT parks across the state of West Bengal. So there we are looking forward to building some electric vehicle charging station. And for that, we are already in talks with various, you know, government agency. We are a government undertaking. We are in talks with various other private energy or the agencies where we can develop this particular EV charging station. And believe me, in case if really this mobilizes, it will be a tremendous boost in reducing the carbon footprint, and will also be very much useful for, you know, for all the citizens and the commuters, especially in the state of Bengal. We are planning to do it across the state of Bengal. And we have also in talks with the Pollution Control Board regarding, you know, we have developed one particular mobile application software which is basically more into, you know, street survey related matter, and also seeing the particular plantation. We generally see through the mobile app, the particular surveyor will go to the particular location where the plant is being seeded upon, and then how much it has grown. That particular, through the mobile app, the data will flow directly to the particular pollution control board controlling system, and that will also, you know, very much beneficial for the ecological balance to see how much greenery or how much the plant has grown, which will reduce the carbon footprint and really give a more ecological sustainable balance. So that things we are already doing in a public-private partnership model. Apart from that, we are also, you know, West Bengal being in the coastal area, we are very much vulnerable and prone to various disaster management and all. You must have been seeing in a newspaper that there is a, you know, Amphan cyclone was there. Various other particular disturbance and turbulence effects in the coastal area. So what we are doing is, we are already in talk with the disaster management and civil defense system, rather the department. We are planning to introduce a public address system when in case if there is something sort of a early monitoring, weather forecasting. If there's some sort of a signal is there, definitely it will be immediately disseminated to the people in the coastal area, maybe like Digha, Mandarmoni and all. Immediately it will be disseminated through a public address system that this is the warning which is coming across, and you should be very much prepared, and alert goes, and people should be vigilant. There should not be any disaster, how to mitigate those particular risks. So apart from this, we are also executing a project with the disaster management and civil defense related to the GIS related mapping, about where we are working on the post-disaster, pre-disaster recovery system. So that we are already working through an ArcGIS software. That is one part. And also, Sunny, as you said, that what are the areas or what are the avenues through which we can really improvise the PPP model? I feel that there are a lot of mid-sized company and also some fintech startups or startup company who would like to engage with the government organization, but because of the lacking of fund, they are not in a position to do so. So in case if there are certain mid-sized cap startups who really have some working capital present, and if government also really encourages them or gives some partial funding, that can really leverage and collaborate and really stimulate the particular technological matter, how we deliver or execute the project. This is one thing which I thought will be very much beneficial. And regarding, we should also, as per the compliance goes, we should also encourage the startups also. If funding is there given by the government, definitely they have the really technological resource and all. The most important is the technological transfer. That is a very important segment. In case if there is a technology transfer, because these budding people or these grooming engineers, they are more into technology, but government can definitely give a more aspects or more light on the regulatory frameworks as well as regarding the domain and subject matter. So if these two synergize, technology and government knowledge, regulatory framework and various other aspects, if they synergize, I think it will really be more robust, more scalable and really more be innovative. That is what I feel. And also we should also think about the potential risk which may come up while executing a project in the PPP model. So that risk will definitely be with the government sector. They will be more acclimatized, more knowledgeable, more know-how about the exactly what they will envisage or what they will forecast in future. So I think the mitigation, the potential risk is with the particular government people to really share the knowledge with the technology people, because technology people will make the particular from technology perspective. But regarding the particular way of controlling the things, doing vulnerability assessment, doing detailed study and all, government people will be more useful in sharing the knowledge with the technological people. And of course, dissemination of the knowledge is very important, and I think if we go with a public-private partnership model, it will really increase our ROI. That is the return on investment. That is, I think with that note, I think it is quite enough for me.
Thank you, sir. You have really captured the essence of this topic today. Moving next up, my next question is to Suneel, sir. So, based on your Sangam of experience, you have been working in tech giants like IBM, Oracle, Government of Haryana, and now working as part of COE for MPSCDC, based out of Noida. Would like to understand about what is your perspective with respect to the ethical considerations as well as the governance structure that are necessary to be in place for having PPP in digital ecosystem.
Okay, so I'll just give an introduction. My forte basically is application development and also in citizen-centered services. So when I'm talking about, my viewpoint would be more towards citizen-centered services and engaging in PPP model for that. So one of the most, and when you look at citizen-centered services, there are examples, there are success stories where PPP model has been engaged. And I would slightly digress from what my co-panelist said earlier. Why do we want to engage in a PPP model? It is not only for expertise. It is not that you just have to have the expertise. No. One of the reasons is also that the concerned partner, it's more of a partnership, more of a collaboration where they have a vested interest as well into the success of the project. So, having said that, I think main considerations, the key considerations, when you are talking about government services, you're talking about citizen-centered services, there is a lot of data. There's a lot of potential for data exposure with a private partner. So you have to be very, very clear about the choice of the partner. The data security and the data integrity has to be a prime importance. So because your private partner has an access to the entire data, and we all know how important data is, and especially when you're talking about citizen data, those things have to be in place. So the partnership has to be so robust that it takes care of both the data integrity as well as the data security. There are also a couple of things that one has to look at it. When you're engaging in a PPP model, you have to ensure that the partner is technologically mature enough. That the level of maturity of technology has to be quite high. Because what happens is when you open up anything for a PPP model, there will be a lot of new players who will try to jump in. There will be a lot of new players who will try to jump in. So the selection of the partner is very important. As a government agency, you are entering into a partnership with a private player. So you have to be very, very careful about who you are dealing with, and that selection has to be there. Ethical considerations again are, there also has to be a very clean exit clause in the partnership. If the partnership doesn't work, because we're talking about long-term things. We're talking about a long-term relationship here. So there has to be a proper exit clause in case things don't work out. So that proper seamless transition, seamless exit has to be there. It is more like because a PPP has it's a very bonded relationship. So that you have to think about those exits in terms of, I'll give an example of a pre-nuptial agreement. It's like a pre-nuptial agreement that you have to have in place before you get into a relationship. So I think that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Rightly said, sir, data is a new oil, I would say, and we all are sitting on the oil fields. Each of the departments are source of oil mines as of now, sir. Coming to you, sir, Shailesh, sir, since you have been heading the NIC division in Lucknow, sir, and data, and I'm sure that there are several policy-related, governance-related matters that comes to you on a routine basis. We would like to understand your experience around that and what should be the way forward from a Government of India perspective about these governance models on PPP.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to say big thanks to invite me here for such a great panelist, and congrats to ObserveNow for organizing such a big conference. डिजिटल भारत, और मैं तो ये कहूँगा कि डिजिटल भारत तभी होगा जब डिजिटल उत्तर प्रदेश होगा. तो डिजिटल भारत का रास्ता भी डिजिटल उत्तर प्रदेश से ही जाएगा, क्योंकि यूपी है सच है बिग बीइंग अ ग्रेट, जैसे बताया, वन ऑफ द 6 country है, not only in population but area, and all our IT initiatives has been taken up in the last few years. It is tremendously growing up in a digital map. As your question arises, I would like to share a few experiences, because as sir told, he is the application side, I am also the person of the project management. And in way back in 2008, when we started our e-district platform, that is a G2C platform for the UP, it is the first of kind funded by the MeitY at that time. So at that time we don't have any the delivery channels. Software is there, SDC to nahi tha, NIC data centers mein we have hosted the application, but we don't have any the delivery channels. So we have put, earlier we have in pilot districts we have made delivery at the collected center, but that was not enough, because everyone has to come to the collected, that is not possible. Then we choose the PPP model. And in 2011-12, we partnered with 3 companies, Shreya, CMS and YMTech, who come with the state government and build their own kind of the, that was first in the kind of the in India, when we could that was not CSC at that time, because CSC concept come late, Common Service Center, but we started earlier in UP. So there 3 companies opened their, the name of Lokvani Kendra. तब हमारे यहाँ लोकवाणी चलता था उत्तर प्रदेश में, if you heard him. तो लोकवाणी केन के नाम से हम लोगों ने सेंटर्स खोले और उनके थ्रू G2C सर्विसेज को डिलीवर करना शुरू किए वे बैक इन 2012-2013. Then it was from 3 to now we are at 13 companies are there. We are calling them district service providers. And through that DSPs, now we are operating 1.7 lakh common service center in a state who are delivering the G2C services across a district platform where 300 services are available. So this is one of the major kind of success of the PPP model, which we are talking today. We have done in the last so many years. The second major point which I would like to highlight, approx from the G2C services, is NOFN. It is an optical fiber network. Earlier it was doing BSNL and was very limited, but when government after 2014 it was in BharatNet, it is connected to the BharatNet. Then again that अब आप देखिए तो Jio के और उसके साथ private partnership करके a lot of even northeast and everywhere we have put the fiber optical cable. So everyone had mobile phone because the connectivity is there. So that is a big benefit of the PPP model. And third, as I am looking after the cyber security also, I am the in charge of the 7 state. So cyber security is that place because the big challenge is the cyber security now. Platform is there, transactions are there. Like I said, e-district, it is going 40 crore applications are there. So it's slightly sold data. Data security is very important. And now in UP, at least we are struggling with cyber policies coming soon. But there is no SOC is there. So state government is working on it. And then when the SOC is coming, government cannot make SOC its own. So we are making a policy, we are making the cyber security policy in which we are inviting to the private partners to building the SOC state. Because SOC is the necessary for each and every state now because huge transactions are there. And what happened, nobody knows. And daily transactions are coming, daily problems are coming up. कुछ highlight होती हैं, कुछ नहीं होती हैं, कुछ बताई नहीं जाती हैं. But problems are there. क्योंकि आप जैसे अभी पहले वाले इंसिडेंट में हो रहा था, everybody got the Jamtara calls. So the same way everybody trying to hack the systems. So आप safe हैं, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप बहुत सुरक्षित हैं, इसका मतलब ये है कि उस तक किसी की नज़र आप पे ना पड़ी हो. तो everybody make their system safe. और SOC is very important और SOC तभी बनेगा जब हमारे पास अच्छे partners होंगे. Fourth point which I would like to highlight, as a very rightly said, that is how we create the policy, how we promote the startups. So UP has already has an incumbent center policy, UP has a startup policy in which we are funding to the new organizations coming on the platform, giving a funding, and they are doing very good job. There are a lot of centers are open up who have done their good job, and because our aim, not only the state government but government of India also that to make in India but make for the world. And you all knows that earlier we have no mobile phone companies, but now we have a lot of mobile phone companies assembling here across the world. We have distribution. And the major point which I would also like to highlight, that is in election. I am also the IT head of the election. So in election also we have used the PPP partnership. All the video surveillance which we have done through booths, polling booths, we have done in the control room. That is also done through the private partnership. Because election commission cannot go each and every booth and put over on camera and get the technologies and get the cloud partnership. So everywhere there is a need of public-private partnership. But yes, one thing is very important, that choose the partner wisely. Exit clause, as our earlier partner said, is very important, because when the data sensitivity is there, government has to take care, and we are also, when we are framing the policies, when we are framing about the rules and regulations, we have to take care about it, how we choose the partner, what should be the conditions, how sensitive is it to take the data, what data should be shared and what data should not be shared. Because you cannot trust that each and everything is with anybody. So this has to be taken care, because ultimately government aim is to bring a transparent system, accountable system and efficient system. And this can be done only with the partnership of the PPP model, not against the government. Government has to monitor, government has to make the guideline, government has to make the policy, but implementation can be done through partnership. This is my point of view.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your experience. Even, sir, certainly it was highlighted in the inaugural session by the Additional Secretary, sir, as well, from Minister of Electronics and IT, that 4.5 lakhs common service centers has been established, which is one of the flagship example for a PPP in digital space. If you talk about other notable projects, BharatNet, sir, more than 5 lakh gram panchayats and villages are digitally connected through BharatNet, and our national digital identity platform, Aadhaar, is a flagship program, sir. Even now it has been classified as a DPG, and now Government of India is offering the Aadhaar services to the other nations like Africa and Latin America, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks for input, sir. Moving next, sir. So I would like to understand your perspective with respect to what kind of, since you are heading the innovation and research at Kerala State IT Mission, what are the key practices you see should be adopted from a PPP perspective in IT domain, technology domain, and what kind of innovative technologies, emerging technologies like AI, blockchain can be leveraged for that?
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. First of all, let me share my experience which I had some 10 days back. Okay, I was part of the a team having a discussion on the policy for persons with disabilities. Okay, we have a central act which was published in 2016, I think. So Kerala is now moving on to framing the policies which will be useful for the persons with disabilities. The one factor which I touched upon in that particular meeting and mostly welcome from all the participants was that the use of assistive technologies for the persons with disabilities. In fact, when it comes to assistive technologies, most of the use case scenarios like DeepMind, speech to text, text to speech, then prosthetic limb automation and sensor detection, all the major inventions or discovery, can't call them discoveries, major inventions or developments have come from the private sector only. So why don't we go with the research and development wing from Kerala, or in fact in all across the country? Why can't we share the expertise and technologies from private sector in that sort of areas, especially in assistive technologies? That's one point which I will stress upon in this particular juncture. The next thing is that although we are sitting in an era of digital technologies and disruptive technologies and digital transformation, from one of my experience I had in Kerala, still I think there is some digital divide, especially in the lack of infrastructure and digital literacy, especially in the case of rural areas. Okay, I was fortunate to partnership in a team where we tried to impart digital literacy to all the inhabitants of a panchayat. In fact, we were able to, just mention in one minute, okay, we were able to identify 3,300 people from across 21,000. That means nearly 15% of the people, especially ladies, within an age group of 45 to 60, they were digitally illiterate. So we identified them and imparted digital literacy. Now that scheme has been rolled out all across Kerala in the name of Digi Kerala. Okay. From the initial survey results, what we are finding is that even though Kerala is famous for literacy and even digital literacy, nearly 20% of the population are still having some problems when it comes to using smartphones. So I would recommend, other than R&D, we should focus on some infrastructure development, especially digital infrastructure in PPP model. Kerala is already having a model called K-Phone, Kerala Fiber Optic Network. We are aligned with the policy to give free internet. Internet is a right, basic right in Kerala now. We are planning to give free internet to at least 2 million people, especially under the below poverty line. Okay, so only those 3 points I need to touch upon. Anyway, thanks for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your remarkably deep insights about your experience and what innovation and R&D can do in terms of PPP. Our last panelist, I would like, Ahmed sir, I would like to understand your perspective about PPP in a sense. One of the P is represented by private entities. How private entities are looking to this opportunity in partnering with government, and what are the leading practices, since NEC is one of the global firm, what are the leading practices which can be bring down to India on a PPP thing?
Thank you. Thanks for this opportunity. It's a pleasure to represent industry and coming from a company who believe in making projects which have huge social impact, like we have done the Canny projects and all, where, as sir was mentioning, that we have not reached out to the areas which are not touched upon, where we have to take the digital infrastructure. So talking about the PPP model from the industry perspective, we see it as a positive way, because in PPP what we see that with customer we develop the relationship of a partner, rather than in other projects where the relationships are like they are our vendors and we are customers. So at the end of the day, that relationship has some issues. Whereas when we talk about PPP model, it's all about partnership, where success of both the parties is what everyone is focusing on. Both the parties have the accountability and the transparency, where complex projects are going to be implemented with the leverage of technology like AI, IoT and blockchain, where the transparency, the documentation part, so all those things are taken care. So from the industry perspective, as rightly said by one of our panelists, that all projects cannot be on the PPP model. We need to understand the viability of it, and if it is viable, then definitely industry is looking to have more PPP models where complex projects are addressed with the technological aspect from the industry and the robust support from the government, where these two will collaborate and solve the create the social impact actually.
Thank you, sir. Since in the interest of time, I have already received a red flag with respect to the time. So, just wanted to conclude our discussion. There are key takeaways that we have got from each of your perspectives, sir. First thing is, when we are talking about PPP or digital ecosystem, it is the entire value chain where PPP can be created, starting from IoT, cloud, DC, applications, etc., etc. Then we have discussed from sir with respect to the various funding options that can be availed while doing a PPP. Based on the experience of Yajuvendra sir, we need to identify and select the right financial model from a feasibility perspective, from an economic viability perspective, considering that it should not have an adverse impact on the private players as well. Talking about you, sir, we have taken a feedback with respect to the next generation solutions that can be innovatively developed in the PPP space and digital space. Startup ecosystem is one of the key takeaways, sir, where initial funding or in form of VGF can be facilitated to these startups so that we can have a strong PPP in digital space. Then definitely, since we are already working, already standing on oil fields, data security, cyber security is a key, and Government of India, Government of Uttar Pradesh is focusing dedicatedly on the data security and cyber security. Maturity of a PPP partner, the criteria we select them, and various, I would say, terms and conditions while doing a contract, a concessionaire contract with a PPP player is very essential. As rightly said by you, sir, exit clause has to be very well drafted in interest of the authority, in interest of the government department as well as the private entity. And from identifying new innovative solutions, R&D facilities can be seen from the PPP players, where R&D facilities can be served by these private players. And from you, sir, focus on collaboration rather than a relationship of a vendor or a buyer kind of thing. It should be a collaboration and partnership effort while doing any PPP contracts, sir. And I would like to thank the esteemed panelists and the audiences for this wonderful session. Thank you.